back again in the woods in Georgia at the little place I call Foggy Valley. And I've been out for a few days, and I will tell you all about that. I'm dropping in to say hello and see how my life is going. If I can talk to you guys, maybe you can tell me it's going all right. I do want to show you to start with my three additions here. Are they not beautiful? I have a couple of Persian cats that showed up about a year ago, and Miss Peggy didn't know where they belonged. So I got outside and I looked and I looked and I knocked on doors and I couldn't find where that mama goes. And so I noticed one day that she had three babies back there under my back deck. So I got under the deck with my old knees and tell me what, you can move fast when you have to. And I grabbed these precious babies. Look at this, would you? So I grabbed these babies here and look at that beautiful face. And they were covered in fleas. So I got the fleas off of them and got them settled down. And I'm probably going to have to get down with them for just a minute because they won't be still, and put them in their little cubby hole over there so they won't be bothering me while I do this video. Um, I wanted to touch base and just tell everybody what's going on. Well, I tell you what's going on. Life is what's going on. And so these three little kings of wherever are my new babies. And while I'm holding them next to my heart, I will tell you the sad news that I lost my girl Sally, and I didn't know if she was going to make it or not when I first found her. And I got her in out of the woods. You know how that goes. If you've ever raised babies, you know how they go. And I got her run out of the woods and did everything I could, but she was real weak. And one of my viewers here said that she could tell that Sally was quite sickly. And yes, she was. And I had to give her some stuff. And I did notice that she kept drinking milk out of the leftover cereal bowl on the counter, and that was not a good idea. But and I was raising her on goat milk, and for a while she acted like she was rallying, but she didn't make it. She was too little and too weak, and that broke my heart. And I'll tell you if I didn't cry. Now what I'm gonna do right here is I'm gonna put the babies down. So you keep watching this screen while I put the babies down. I'll be right back. Here I am, my friends. And I did make it back, ha ha. And what I wanted to do is drop by and let you know then that I had been missing. It broke my total heart to lose my girl Sally. And I can tell you one thing, she's not the first one I've lost and won't be the last one, because I'm a big animal lover. And if I can't rescue them, they hardly can't be rescued. So I have rescued so many animals, and I can tell you one thing, I love them with all my heart and soul. God put me on this earth to love, inspire, and share. And hello, guys, I love you. Love seeing you people drop in. I have thought about when I'm doing the videos, I bring this thing a little bit further to me. I'm going to start doing the videos at a little bit of a different time, and some news that I do have, for those of you who have not checked me out and don't know me, I'm sorry. This is Peggy Mercer. I'm Peggy Mercer, the author. This is my YouTube channel. I am going live right now because I love live. I want to see what you people say. How do you people do? I love it when you start dropping in and showing me love. I want you all to have all the love you need. Bless you. Thank you so much. I see. Um, I'm not really able to see, but I got news for everybody. I'm fixing to have a big screen uh, TV sitting here, and you could be my old neighbor in Georgia. That might be my friend Jennifer. I don't know who that is, but I can tell you one thing. I'm glad to see you. And I'm fixing to have one of those big screen TVs sitting around where I can actually, with these old eyes, see who is talking to me and what you people are saying and call out your names. And I love you so much. Thank you for joining me. It just makes my day. And someone said that they love for me dropping in with them of a morning because they are bedridden in a nursing home right now recovering from a car wreck. And I told this girl, look, I'm coming to the nursing home to see about you, and I am. And I love it when you drop in on me like this and say hello. What I've got to say, I hope and I pray will inspire you. And I do have a few comments to make today on a variety of subjects. Now, I am going to start calling what I call this drop in and say hello video. I'm going to start calling this a day in my life in the woods here. I call this a place Foggy Valley, and I'll show it to you on a video one of these days. But it's kind of out in the woods, which is exactly how I like it. I have a lot of critters out here. Have a lot of turtles, and I call them all helmet. Helmet number one, helmet number two. And then I have other woods animals. I did hear that there was a rabid fox in a county next door to us. So you people with little kids, you taught your children about rabid foxes or foxes coming out of the woods and how they will act if they're normal, and then how they will act if they're not normal, which is kind of rare, but we still want to be very careful about that. I do want to mention a couple of things. As you all know, as we all do, we get up every day and try to find out if there's any Nancy news. Is there any Nancy news? Nancy Guthrie, have they found any clues that amount to anything? Of course, we know the answer to that is no, because it appears that Barney Fife might be in charge of this investigation. And I'm sure, all joking aside, that he's doing the best he can. And I'm sure that the investigators on his sheriff's team are doing an absolutely wonderful job. It just takes time to put these things together. But I can tell you one thing, it wouldn't have took me this long if I had been the new sheriff in town. I can tell you I would have already made an arrest, I believe. Now, a couple of thoughts that I've had on this over the last day or week. They had another note come in, or an earlier note or whatever. I don't remember exactly when the note came in to that TMZ TV station or whatever it is out of, I think it's LA, I'm not sure, but I really love these people. They're on top of this, okay? And they had a note that came in that had a little bit of a declaration in it, which was very interesting. It said that Nancy had perished, was the word that the note chose. Said Nancy had perished, and also she had gone she was buried with nature. And the first thing that I and all of you thought, well, that's very poetic. Now, who's the poet in this family? And so we get a little bit of a chill going because we know who the poet is in that family. And we all said that it's very poetic. Let's point our finger at the poet in the family. And then the investigators said, no, let's not do that. And then here now, they've come out in the last few days and said that they think that the note was written, guess what? By a woman. And remember what I said in the very beginning? That looks like a woman on the porch dressed like a man. It does to me to this day, because when she bends over like that, you can see the bust outline, and it just looks like kind of a fluffy woman. But I don't know about that. I am not law enforcement. I have a best friend and a cousin who worked with the FBI all their life, and my girlfriend, who's like my twin, is a beautiful blonde, and she could come on here and talk about this, and I hope I can get her on here one of these days. She might just slide in and get out and start talking. We'll see. Her name is Jan, and she's beautiful and knows a lot more about this than I do. But anyway, the first thing that we said was we kind of figured out who did this, and then there were some videos out. I have no idea how much weight this is given, but they did check Nancy's bank account and her bank records. It did appear that she was making some kind of substantial payments periodically to somebody. I'm sure they know who, and they probably got all the answers figured out now. I'm not sitting there looking at all the research like they are, or I would have already had it figured out. I can tell you that I had to send a note to somebody a while ago about a medical condition that the daughter has, and I told them what to do about the medical condition. And I happen to know what to do because I have a family member myself that has a, and then I signed it Dr. Peggy. And so the little bit of humor always crops up in there, because you know what, people have to laugh. Now let me tell you another good thing. So we have no idea where the Nancy case is right now. All we can say is surely they're closer. Surely they're inching closer to making an arrest. I think the investigators want an ironclad arrest. They want to arrest the person who killed her and drug her out of her house and probably left her in the middle of the desert there, which we see the hard dirt, we see that dirt, we see the cacti, we see the plants, we see the dry wind blowing. They call that wind Mariah. Remember that old song? Now, we believe that they're getting closer to an arrest, and all we've got to do is sit tight, because that's all we can do. Like I said, we are not law enforcement officers, although some of you might be. I have a neighbor down the street that lives through the woods from me, and he's writing a novel about being inside a corrections facility. He said it would just boggle your minds. I'll let y'all know about that when he gets that done. These people know a lot more about this than I do. I do not know anything about how to be a law enforcement officer. I don't know anything about an investigator, except I write books and I know a lot about plots, and there's always a twist to the plot. However, this is not a twisted plot. Here it's very simple, and it's all going to go back to who saw her last, or who was in the house trying to talk her into this or the other. They said the back doors were propped open, and my goodness gracious, they were propped open for a reason. Was it to carry valuables in and out of the house while Nancy might have been in there suffering, or while they might have given her a shot or something, kind of knock her for a loop for a while they carried the stuff they wanted out of the house? And like I said in one of my videos, I don't know. I don't carry a lot of cash, and I don't have a lot of valuables in my house, because you know what? I don't have any cash, okay? I'm what they call baroque all the time. So anyway, that may be a good thing. But in Nancy Guthrie's house, was there any cash on hand? Were there any diamonds? Were there any rubies? Were there any certificates of deposit that were maybe taken out of the house? Who's got the goods on what was in the house? Let's figure that out. Also, I did see where someone had finally, at long last, one of those people on one of those investigative journalist shows had mentioned the dog, and I want to see that mentioned. I want to go back to what was wrong with the dog when the dog died. Was the dog so-called killed accidentally? Was the dog gotten rid of because these people had this plan that they knew they had to get rid of that dog? That's so maddening to me. It makes me sick to think about Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, had lived her whole life doing her thing, wanted to go on to glory on her own terms with God in the lead, of course, and none of that's going to happen now because, friends, she is gone, baby, gone. Now, I love you people's comments, and I'm going to look at those comments on a big screen TV and speak directly back to you. Thank you for commenting and joining me. I appreciate you people. I do have a couple of other announcements to make. I did a poetry video the other day that was like maybe what we call in content creation, we call this a trailer. It's like what comes out in front of a movie to let you know that the movie's coming out and what it's going to be about. And I did a little poetry teaser about what the next poetry video is going to be about. And I am a good poet. I have won awards all my life for poetry. And that's my first love. First thing I ever wrote was a poetry with about 6 lines in it. And I'm going to talk to you. I have another poetry video coming up, not a teaser. This is the real hard poetry stuff. This is going to talk to you about formats such as free verse sonnets, cinquains, all these different formats that you have. And I have asked you, if you are learning to write poetry, you really want to be a good poetry. I've said examine your subjects. What are you writing about? Nobody's interested in you. Nobody's interested in what you think, really. We're interested in what image you can create through your poetry that we can enjoy, that we can access, that we can relate to. And so the teaser on the poetry is going to lead up to an in-depth poetry video that's going to talk about formats. I'm going to talk about some great poets that I have kept close to me all my life. When I get just paralyzed with a book I'm writing of any kind, I stop for a few days and read great poetry. I don't read just any poetry. I wouldn't read a rant. I wouldn't read a political rant. I wouldn't read somebody talk. I wouldn't read somebody talking about President Trump. And when you refer to him, you say President Trump. Isn't that beautiful? He's our president. Hello, Donald Trump. We love you so much. Now, I wouldn't read your rant about him. I also, at the same time, wouldn't read a rant about a Democrat leader. They're all humans. They're doing the best that they can, and they're doing what they were elected to do. I don't see the vitriol. I don't see the hatred. I don't see that jealousy is a terrible thing. Now, I'm going to talk in that poetry video. It's going to be a teaching video. It is going to teach you how to write poetry so that you can write a poetry book and get it published. But my other news is I am expanding my publishing company that I've had for a great many years here. Now, I've been published in New York. I have books in a warehouse in San Diego with Chronicle. I have books published in Florida by a small publisher. I've been published everywhere. I've been paid advances. Ahoy, whatever boats you float. So that's the aim. If you're young, you want to find a publisher. And I'm going to be doing some videos on how for you to publish your own books on Amazon KDP. I'm kind of an expert at that. And I'm going to, all drama aside, I'm going to have my clothes on. I'm not going to be parading around naked. I'm not going to be using curse words because I am a Christian and I do write Christian material. I am not going to do my videos to get attention, or I'm going to do my wonderful videos having been a teacher. I'm going to teach you how to write poetry, how to get your own publishing company started, how to publish your own books and other products, so many other products. And I'm going to talk about all that in a series of YouTube videos that I'm about to start creating. I would say 2 weeks from now, I'll have one up, and you'll be with me on that. Now, one of the interesting things that I am doing right now, I am revising a book that came out 5 years ago that was a real hot seller. People love that book. I don't know how many books I sold. I wasn't in it to sell books. I'm not in it now to sell books. I'm in it to teach you how to do something to solve a problem that you have. That is why I do this. If I do a Christian book, which all my books got where are faith-based and Christian-oriented, and if I do a Christian book, guess what it's all about? It's all about leading you to a knowledge of the Savior, the name of Jesus, that strong tower where the power lies, the power in prayer, the power in life changes, that where you can find happiness and peace and prosperity, which is what God wants for all of us. So I am revising a little book I wrote 5 years ago called Beautiful You, Life and Home. And it had this little girl on the front of it, which I love the front of that. And I don't have that right here, but maybe one of you might have it laying around. It's called Beautiful You, Life and Home. It's on Amazon. I am doing a Christian-oriented, faith-based revision of that book, and it's going to have all the good stuff that that book had in it, and it's going to have something else. It is going to be called Declutter Yourself, Your Life, and Home. Declutter yourself, your life, and home. I don't know whether many of you have ever thought about this or not. I don't know if you've thought about it. You know, we have to declutter. We get to a point where we have to clean out our minds, clean out our hearts, so that we can live as pure of a life as we can before our Savior. Because as we age, especially you senior sisters out there and you senior brothers out there that I'm talking to, and this is not just for you, but it is for everybody, but especially focusing on seniors, which I am, believe it or not. I'm not 16 anymore. Oh, woe is me. But I am a very happy, very mentally sharp, correct, trying to be the best that I can be senior citizen. Don't tell anybody else, okay? Let's see if we can get by with it. Anyway, the little book, Beautiful You, Life, and Home, is going to be entitled Declutter Yourself, Your Life, and Home. And we start by thinking like this. There are 99 scriptures in the Bible that speak on living a clean life, having a clean heart, having a clean spirituality. So the question that I'm going to answer for you in that book is how to clean yourself up spiritually. Then we go into how to clean your life around you up. You know what? You could be driven slap crazy by some neighbor down there with a bless their heart illness, knocking on your door every day wanting to know what you're doing. And It's almost a compliment to me. I've had people steal my wreath off my front door because they just loved it and take it to their house, and I've had to go get it back. Of course, I've got one missing right now that I paid $60 for that I didn't go get back. And I said, let her have it because some people just don't know any better than what they're doing. I take it as a compliment when people say they love my little house. Right now, my house is a disaster area because the cats rule. And so my babies kind of get first attention. I don't have a lot of cleanup help around here. I have had, but I don't right now. So all the money's going to Friskies and Nine Lives and stuff like that. So anyway, you get my drift. So anyway, this little new revision of that book, Beautiful You, with a little girl on it. Now that little girl was drawn by my great niece. She was in day school, St. John's Day School down there out in Fernandina Beach, Florida, and now she's at the University of Alabama. She's one of those Roll Tide chicks, and hello, I want to say hello to my beautiful great niece, Chloe Smith. I love you so much, and your mother, my niece, Shannon McCrae Smith. I want to say hello to you, sweetheart. I love you so much. I remember when you rode that little horse, Patches, all the time when you were a little girl growing up. Now, I love you people. You're going to love this book. I want you to, it's not up yet. I'm working on the revision. I am working on the spiritual side of decluttering your life. When my disaster happened last summer, and I wrote the book, What God Told Me, which has been on 5 bestseller list on Amazon. I'm so thankful to the Lord for that book. I have anointing all over the book as I was writing it. And I've had people tell me, look, this book changed my life. Trust in Jesus. Follow his lead. Follow the healing journey. And I'm going to put that on here too soon. I'm going to display this book and talk about it and go through it because I want it to bless you. I want everything I do to be a blessing to somebody. If it's a blessing to you, can you say it's a blessing? There you go. And I want to thank everybody for dropping in with me today. We'll be back. The next thing up is going to be the poetry video. I am working on the revision to declutter yourself, your life, and home. That'll be out in just about a week now. And I will have the poetry how-to video up. And it is free, folks. My videos are free. It don't cost a dime. I don't have a Mercedes dealer jumping in the middle of my videos trying to sell you a $100,000 Mercedes. But I tell you one thing, I told somebody I was planning on buying them something like a Maserati or one of those fancy cars. He said, what kind of car do you want? And you all know what I would really, really like to have one of those Teslas. And I got an email from Elon Musk, bless his heart. He's got about 190 million scammers out there. And this scammer told me I had won a brown Tesla. Well, I wrote him back and I said, well, I don't want a brown Tesla. If you had red, maybe, or one of those slate grays, I really like that. And he got smart with me, said I couldn't afford a Tesla charging station. And I said, what? I knew it was a scam all along, but that is what I would really like to have. And I would like for Elon Musk to know that I came up with him an absolutely wonderful advertisement for Tesla. And it shows this Tesla smoking, but it's still in one piece. And the caption says, blow me up if you can. Folks, I'm a funny person. I love life out here in the woods. I'll tell you one thing, I've got more going on than you can shake a stick at. I am Southern. I hope you can follow me. I got a friend here, Larry. He's saying my makeup looks good. Thank you so much. I have worn Estee Lauder makeup all my life, but I don't have that on right now. I got some little cheap Neutrogena on. And you know what? When I get that book out, that revised beauty book, I call it, but it's how to declutter your your spirituality, your life, and your home. It's going into all three areas. But I will do a big video and I will talk about my makeup and my hair and stuff because you know the ladies really, really like that. This blouse here is linen and it's a Sigrid Olsen linen, which is, you know, Sigrid Olsen. You ladies, every one of you ladies looking at this recognize that name. I'll tell you one thing, she is my favorite out there. Well, I like Calvin Klein and Vera Wang and stuff like that, but I just tell you the truth. I love this gal right here, Sigrid Olsen. I love t-shirts that say things. This one's got a race car on it, and I can tell you that I have people around me that love race cars. I'm a saying person. Be a saying person. Be a blessing. Be a person who does not walk away from a challenge. If you see a challenge, grab hold of it and solve it. Be a solution to people. Be an inspiration to people. I have a quote that I use in that new book that's coming out, that revised book, Declutter, Clutter Yourself, Your Life and Your Home, Your Spirituality, okay? And I have a quote in there that opens that book, and it says, if life throws stones at you, if life hurls stones at you, gather those stones up and build you an altar. Bye bye, folks. Much love. Ah, it seems I have popped back on. Let me pop this back up there. Look at my bookcase. Boy, that looks good in the background. I had thought about trying to have another scene here, and my great friend and brilliant young redheaded beauty up there in Nashville, my friend Jennifer said no, she loved the bookcase in the background. So, going by what she was commenting, we're just going to keep the books. And that's what we'll do. And I'm trying to sign off here a little bit. I do see some of you people have made wonderful comments. I do see comments here, and I appreciate you guys so much. I don't have any idea. I do have a top fan there. Well, my goodness, thank you, baby. And I am going to connect with you people, and I'm excited about that. I'm excited about some things that we are doing here. And you see the boats up there and the old paintings, and my Uncle Johnny Mercer over there, my daddy's Uncle Johnny, my great uncle, and so we have Stephen King, my award-winning book there, Peach, When the Well Runs Dry. I was Georgia Author of the Year with that book right there. And 10 Cows to Texas, and then the book about my daddy right back there with the absolutely stunning pictures by world-class artist Ron Mazellan. And you see that book right there. That's my book, and I'll share that with you people. I've already drug it out a few times, and right now I'm trying to figure out which button I hit, and I see a name that's my favorite top fan here called Felipe Barbosa, which That tells me that Felipe is probably a little bit like Huckleberry Finn or Mark Twain, but we'll see. We'll figure out who he is. But anyway, let's turn this off where we can actually post it on where it goes, okay? Man, is the thing still rolling? Hey, who knows? I'll see you people later.